Millennials, what is one thing that the rest of us just don't understand? That the average millennial is 30 years old, not a teeny bopper or college kid. Most people don't know the age of millennials. To them, a millennial is someone that they hate and happens to be younger than them. Ever been to a professional sporting event and groaned at the price of admission, concessions, and even water? It's been kind of like living an entire life inside of that stadium. MS Word is not a fucking design program and shouldn't be used as one. How to rotate a goddamn PDF. Why it is that most of the older generation, and some millennials, can have something called a cell phone in their pocket and decide to never take a minute to fact-check something that sounds suspicious. When people who grew into adulthood in the 2000s and 2010s ignore your economic, career advice, it's not because they were snotty or ungrateful or don't value your opinion. It's because the economy is so different that advice which may have been good in the 50s to 80s is not likely to still be good. Every time you bash millennials for taking participation ribbons, remember who came up with that stupid fucking idea. Here is a clue: it wasn't us. I'm the oldest millennial. I have worked ridiculously hard, with no end in sight, to make the same money my dad, with no degree or specialized training, made and makes to this day. That it's hard, even in my early 30s with a good full-time job, to afford rent and food and everything else. I wish I had been born in a time where working a job like I have now would pay for a 3-bedroom house and 2 cars. No, I'm not lazy. I just don't think I should have to work 2 full-time jobs just to survive. When we don't really sell ourselves on Microsoft programs in job interviews, it's because that's like asking if we know how to write. We grew up with the shit. It's not hard. Edit, just to address the most common response, I understand that Excel is way more than adding functions and has amazing capabilities beyond my comprehension. My comment was more of an attack on jobs that put so much emphasis on Microsoft Office programs, and yet they only require basic functionality. The whole I had my house paid by the time I was 25 from old people. Houses cost a whole lot less then, Barbara. The whole just go get a better job, put out for a promotion line of thought. A lot of the time we just can't do that, and one particularly annoying part of it is because you're still sitting at the top. In my profession there is very little to no upward movement. The median age for a full-time teacher where I've worked is in the late 50s, early 60s. Nothing against them, as sometimes they can have brilliant ideas, techniques. But it's frustrating to look at the job ladder and see no one going up because people can't get off, and you can't get on. Edit, wow, never thought my most rated post would be voicing my vague frustrations to the ether. Not sure if to thank you guys. Just to clarify, I know that this is a symptom of the greater failings of how things are run. It wasn't meant to be an ageist dig in particular, just my frustrated observations on my current situation. I'm actually moving out of my country in a few months for a job with a typical amount of hours. While here I have to compete with the casual market and those relief apps. For those who don't know, when a relief position appears, the school uses the app to send a message to everyone on their lists, and it's practically a race to accept it. Have to spend all morning watching my phone like a hawk for even the chance at one of those positions. It doesn't help that if I don't get enough work in the next few years, then I just drop off the government's books and have to re-get my qualifications. Partially the reason for such high teacher turnover, losses in graduates. That most of us have actually done customer service jobs our whole life. And when people talk about how millennials and the younger generations are all about instant gratification. Each and every one of us has vivid memories of old fucking dirtbags throwing goddamn tantrums because they didn't get their way right that very moment. Old people have absolutely no patience for anything. Younger people typically have more manners. Edit, holy shit, it seems I hit a nerve. I'm a low-level shit-posting troll and I don't know how to deal with this positive attention. Thank you for gold and silver. And yes, I get the fact that not all boomers are like this. And not all millennials are nice, well-mannered saints. The only thing a millennial might find more annoying than a boomer is another millennial, since self-hatred is kind of our jam. But it's the media that presents one side on a more favorable light versus the other, so let us younger schmucks have our opportunity to vent. Labor jobs are not shameful and you can actually earn good money doing it. Trades are dying because we were told to go to college and then get a desk job because it's better than what mom or dad does now. That we aren't children. We aren't 15-year-old kids eating Tide Pods, the less than 2 dozen that did that. We are college graduates, trade school grads, union workers, and every other slice of the workforce. We have trades, kids, experience, and retirement plans. Not as many as should, but the economy the boomers left us is what we have to work with. We aren't stupid kids or out-of-touch hippies going to college to get degrees in mermaids and avocado toast. We are, it seems, the only damn grown-ups in the US half the time, and it is exasperating that so many people seem to believe otherwise. Edit, thanks for the silver and the gold. I appreciate the support in my old age, haha. The economy is growing but our paychecks are not. Economists will tell you that wages generally increase with productivity, that you're paid in line with the value of what you do. We may very well be the first overeducated generation in the history of this country. Most of us have college degrees, and very sizable portion of us have graduate degrees too. We have these because we basically have to in order to even have the chance of making enough money for a comfortable life as adults. We are a little pissed off because we all grew up being told that if you do okay in high school and go to college, you'll be able to get a job that'll pay you well enough to live the life you want to live. Then, we did those things and when we got to the other end of it, it was all basically jerked away. That nearly every place you apply wants you to do it online. No, going in will not help you get your foot in the door. More often than not it's just going to annoy them. Also, super annoying when people don't believe you about this so they go in and ask for an application and are told to apply online. Like, I legit could have told you this would happen. I was at Target, working behind the counter at the customer service desk, saw a guy walk in and insist on applying in person. They found him a physical application and once he left they threw it in the trash. That was one of the managers who did that, by the way. Update, for clarification, he walked in, asked for a physical copy, said he couldn't put in online because he didn't have a computer, the network for the store was down, he was friendly, shook hands, and had decent qualifications. They didn't care. No, I don't find it shocking that you, your son, daughter, or your family pet got a job walking in some place. Not everyone's experience is the same. Every time I've followed up on an application, went in person, or tried to see a manager I get told to leave and that they will contact me when ready. At 2 places, they even put me on hold for half an hour before hanging up when I tried to follow up on an application. Callbacks were rejected. Every job I've gotten involved either a phone interview followed by a start day, an online interview followed by a start day, or getting called to meet hour. Target was just the most overt example, but nowhere I've worked has ever accepted walk-ins, taken physical anything, or let people talk to the manager about employment. For reference, I've worked big box store jobs, factory work, and non-chain stores. Your experience may differ, but you are the exception, not the rule. Even my local generic corner store and a new age accessories shop want online apps, and my neighborhood family-owned pizza place has a detailed website. You can't pause a raid in Warcraft, okay? You just cannot. Almost every advantage prior generations had has been stripped away. Affordable college, wages that allow you to pay rent and buy food. Other things like retirement security, nope 401 kiloseconds with fees that chew up your savings or bubbles that wipe it out. Unemployment protections have even become unreliable if you get laid off. And forget going to the dentist regularly, ha ha ha, good luck maintaining health insurance. Work hard for less and be called a whiner for pointing it out. Older millennial. I'm poor. We're all poor. Fuck this fucking bullshit. That if I fail to get a job from multiple different places it doesn't mean I'm not trying, it means the place that I tried are just picky with who they hire. This is for the older people. Yes, you are wiser than us. Yes, you have more experience than us. But your advice usually does not apply to the times. That's not how we did it back in the day. Yay, that's the point, Grandma. Times change. People change. Technology changes. Don't get mad at us because we lived in a time of increasing convenience. And most importantly, it's ironic how millennials are viewed in a bad light, but we are expected to solve all the world's problems. Edit, I understand that old age usually does not come with wisdom. But man, the older people I've come across say the wisest things. And for the most part they do know what they're talking about. There are a few old people who talk out of their but for the most part, wisdom runs through their blood. Edit, this was my first day on Reddit after 30 days, and in that time period I earned 7,000 karma and a silver award. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. What would be your response? Leave it in the comments and see what the others say. Please also like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care.